Week 1 predictions coming right up, but first... Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Tackle Talk Network, and let's jump right on into things. But before we get to the weekly predictions, I'm going to start off with a little bit of NFL news. First off and foremost, Rashee Rice has officially been suspended for the first 6 weeks of the NFL season. It was somewhere in the ballpark between going to be 4 weeks and 12 weeks. The NFL wanting 12 weeks and Rashee Rice wanting 4 weeks, or more likely his lawyer. But because of all that craziness, Rashee Rice ended up getting 6 weeks suspension. Kind of crazy to me, but, whatever. Micah Parsons also was traded to the Green Bay Packers, as most of you already know. He was traded for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. Then he signed a 4-year deal with the Green Bay Packers, getting 4 years, $188 million, with 131 of those, or 136 of those $1 million fully guaranteed, as well as $46.5 million per yearly basis when it comes to contract value. Most people just round that up to $47 million a year, which easily makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, just surpassing TJ Watt, who just signed his not long ago, earlier this year, for $41 million a year. So, congrats to Micah Parsons, and the Green Bay Packers are going to be insane this year. With that all being out of the way now, let's get into this week's predictions. Now, how this is going to work is I'm basically going to go down the line of the games, how they're scheduled from Thursday game to Friday's game this week, to the noon games, and then to the 3 o'clock and the 7 o'clock and the Monday game. So to start it off, we have Dallas at Philadelphia, Thursday Night Football, 7:20 p.m. Looking at this game from a broad scope, I'd like to think that Philadelphia could easily win this game, especially because Dallas just traded their best player on their entire roster that they've had for the last decade. Let's just get that out of the way. But Philadelphia, basically same roster as last year. Give me Philly by 4 touchdowns. Completely honest. Being completely honest, Philly by 4 touchdowns, it's not even a choice of mine to make, honestly. The Philadelphia Eagles are so dominant, and they won the Super Bowl. Yeah, next game. All right, my favorite game of the week. You got Chiefs at the Chargers. Well, it's supposed to be at the Chargers, but it's actually going to be in Brazil, Sao Paulo, Brazil. This game will be taking place at 7 o'clock, and it will be streamed on YouTube. YouTube's very first ever stream game, which I did talk about in a couple episodes back if you would like to go look at those before you watch this one. So what the heck are you doing? Go watch it. With that being said, I think the Chiefs get the easy dub here. It is a close game, and it's going to be a competitive rivalry game. It's going to be in Brazil. I think that the Chiefs win this game. The last time we played out of the States against the Chargers was a couple of years ago, and we played in Mexico City. We were supposed to play across the pond, either in London or in Germany. Something was going on with the NFL, though, and we ended up having to play in Mexico City. But I think the Chiefs get the dub. No questions asked. Next, we got Tampa Bay at Atlanta, and this was the start of the Sunday's games, and it starts at noon. Now, I think Tampa Bay gets the dub here, even though Atlanta is slightly favored because they're the home team. Tampa Bay, even though this is a rivalry divisional game, Tampa Bay has the better roster and has all the pieces to actually make a really good run this season. So with that all being said, give me Tampa Bay on top. Cincinnati at Cleveland, the very next game, scheduled in that noon schedule slot on Sunday. I think the Cincinnati Bengals, for the first time in 3 or 4 seasons, actually start the season 1-0. Yeah, kind of hard to believe. But it's also kind of hard to believe that they got such an easy game week 1, because the Cleveland Browns suck. They are terrible. Cleveland fans, I am so sorry. Really, I'm not. But if you should have started Shedeur Sanders, you should have started Shedeur Sanders. The only way that the Cleveland Browns come out on top is if David Njoku goes for 50, 100 yards. I'm being dead serious. That's the only way that Cleveland wins this game. Being serious. Next, we got Miami at Indianapolis. I think Miami gets the dub, seeing that they have a better roster than Indianapolis. And Indianapolis has Daniel Jones as their starting quarterback. Yeah, let that sink in, but not too long. Because next we got Vegas, the Las Vegas Raiders versus the New England Patriots. This is going to be also another tight battle between two teams that were terrible last year. But I think that Ashton Genty will help the Raiders get the W, as well as Brock Bowers, gets some good receptions as well. And Geno Smith is probably going to play pretty well if I had to assume. And who's going to, bet against Sean Payton? Not Sean Payton. Oh, gosh, golly. NFL coaches move around so much. Not Sean Payton. Their new coach. It was the Seattle Seahawks old coach. My mistake, Sean Payton. I'm getting to your game here in a little bit. But Vegas over the Patriots. And next we got the Cardinals and the Saints. Cardinals visiting the New Orleans Saints at New Orleans. Another noon game, and I think the Saints actually get a win here. Yes, I'm actually going against the Vegas odds. The Cardinals are up 3.5, or technically it's minus 3.5. For those of you who don't know how Vegas works, you have the minus and then you have the plus. The minus is the most likely outcome. So when you see game predictions and you see a team in the minus, that means they are most likely to win that game. And then you have some games where it's like by negative 1.5 or negative half, which hardly ever happens on negative just half. But that's on games where it's literally just because the one team has the home field advantage, and that's the only reason why. But that being said, I'm taking the Saints over the Cardinals. Saints have a more complete roster, even though they don't have a quarterback. Actually, the Cardinals might have the most complete roster. Saints have the better defense. I think that they get the best of Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has a history of not playing well in September. Give me the Saints. Next, I get the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New York Jets. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers playing his former team. This will be a game to watch. Probably the most watched one of the noon games, other than the Cincy and Browns game. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is probably just going to dot up the Jets and make the Jets look stupid for, I don't know, just him playing bad in New York. I mean, this is just one of those games I could probably care less who wins. But give me Pittsburgh. Next, we got Giants and Washington Commanders. I'm taking the Giants. Psych. No, you really think I'm going to bet against my boy Jaden Daniels? No. Give me the Commanders beating the New York Giants here. I think it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, you have a team that was in the NFC Championship last year, and a lot of people have Jaden Daniels taking a sophomore slump. That ain't happening. But give me Washington over the Giants. Next, we got the Jags and Carolina. Actually, Carolina at Jacksonville. And a lot of people have Jacksonville winning this game. I think Bryce Young is going to be on fire. Give me the Carolina Panthers winning this Week 1 matchup. It's going to be a tight game, even though it's the last of our noon games this Sunday. It's going to be a tight matchup. You got a proven quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. Well, he's proven to be a decent starter. We don't necessarily know if he's a superstar yet or not. He's kind of like Justin Herbert in the fact that he was hyped up so much. Same quarterback class, I believe so too. That's just a lot of people are just like, well, if he had this or if he had that. No more hypotheticals. Give me Bryce Young's Panthers over Trevor Lawrence and Travis Hunter's Jags. And on to the 3 o'clock game. Starting at 3:05, we got the Titans visiting the Denver Broncos, led by Sean Payton. And I do apologize, Denver, for saying that Sean Payton was on the Raiders. It's dumb, okay? It's a rare divisional thing. Regardless, Denver, I'm giving you the win here over the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans were the worst team in the NFL last year, and Cam Ward can only do so well in his rookie debut. I mean, he could be amazing. We'll just have to wait and see. Next, we got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to Seattle. Man, they've been talked about lately. Traveling to Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Now, this is also going to be a tight game because the San Francisco 49ers are kind of in the balance. They've lost some defensive pieces. They still have CMC, but he's returning from injury. And Brock Purdy is still just an average quarterback, in my opinion. I mean, he's good. He's just better than an average starter. He's kind of in between average starter and superstar. He's got his own category. It's just Brock Purdy. I have the Seattle Seahawks winning this game simply because I believe in Sam Darnold and that Cooper Kupp and JSN-led offense with Kenneth Walker, of course, more than the San Francisco 49ers defense. I think it's going to be more of Seattle. They can't stop Seattle from scoring rather than the 49ers beating them just because they outscore. I don't think that's going to happen. So give me the Seattle Seahawks. Next, I got the Lions at the Green Bay Packers, the start of our 325 games, which there's only 2 of them, and they're both bangers. So you get the Lions versus the Packers. A week ago, when I mocked this up, had the Lions beating the Packers, but if y'all saw what happened, you would know that I'm taking the Packers 100%. Now, am I certain that Micah Parsons is going to play all the snaps week 1? Absolutely not. He just got there a week into the system. It's basically like getting traded mid-season, except for the Packers are going to be really dangerous with him simply just because it's Micah Parsons. I mean, like, who are we kidding right now? Like, come on now. So, I'm taking the Packers over the Lions. It's going to be a close game, probably a 3-point game. Great game in Lambeau. Next, we got the Texans versus the Rams. Another banger game. I actually take the Rams over the Texans here. I think the Rams have a more complete roster than the Texans, and the Texans have a lot more question marks than I'd like to see compared to answers, especially at that left tackle position because he just retired. Laramie Tunzel, I believe, just retired. Yeah, you have a good running back in Joe Mixon. Receivers is kind of on the up and up, I guess, for the Texans. But the Rams, you got Puka Nacua, you got Kyron Williams, you got Matt Stafford. As long as Matt Stafford plays, I don't necessarily know. There were some things going on with Matt Stafford during the offseason, and we'll see if he plays. I think he's scheduled to play. If he plays, the Rams win. If he doesn't play, Rams lose. Texans are winning that game. Okay, I'm going to skip this next one because it's a Sunday Night Football matchup. I'll give you that one at the end, so stay tuned. But first, we got the Minnesota Vikings versus the Bears on Monday Night Football. Now, the Minnesota Vikings are going to be led by second-year quarterback, first year as a starter, J.J. McCarthy. It's really going to depend on how he plays. A lot of people are on opposite side of the scales from each other. There's nobody really in the middle. I'd say I'm kind of in the middle because I don't think he's going to play terrible, but I don't think he's going to be elite by any means. I think his first game as a starter will be good, but teams will probably catch on to the way he plays throughout the season. So, as terms of who wins this game, I'm going to give it to the Bears. The Bears have a lot of good pieces. They have that new offensive coordinator, or head coach actually, who was a former offensive coordinator for the Lions, Ben Johnson. So I take the Bears over the Minnesota Vikings. But now, the game y'all been waiting for, that everybody's going to be tuning in and watching, Sunday Night Football. Baltimore traveling to Buffalo to play the Bills. It's going to be a tough game. I mean, Vegas even has them at -1.5. The Bills favored, obviously, because it's a home game. Now, I don't mean to speculate anything, but the Bills are favored in every single home game possible. Not just every single home game, but every single game throughout the season, they're favored. If Vegas had it their way, they would go 17-0 the entire season, which is quite crazy. And I think I'm going to make Vegas happy with this pick. I went and played rock, paper, scissors with my brother to try and figure out the outcome of this game. And it landed on Buffalo. I'm not even kidding right now. Baltimore traveling to Buffalo. It's going to be a tight, competitive, good game, or at least it's supposed to be, unless Baltimore just decides to blow them out, which I wouldn't be surprised. Derrick Henry, please don't rush for over 250 yards. Anyways, as I was saying, like they did in the regular season last year, holy cow, Baltimore just ran all over Buffalo. And then it got to the playoffs, and Mark Andrews can't catch a two-point conversion to save his life. Anyways, I have Buffalo beating Baltimore. No questions asked. That's how it's going to be. Two great teams, great game, great opponent. And that wraps up this week's, predictions. It's kind of a short video, but for as long as podcasts go, I appreciate you tuning in. And I will say, you guys are awesome for watching. Even though there's not a ton of you, I do greatly appreciate it. Shout out to my sponsor, it's Hope Anthem Church there in Ottawa. That's about it. You are amazing. Go out and do something today. Be great. And stay in school and don't do drugs. I think I covered everything. Oh, well. All right. See you later.